So welcome to Lesson 1, Part 3 on multiplication. We're going to talk about what multiplication is, do a couple problems, and understand how it works. Let's first start off by talking about the definition. Multiplication is adding the same number a set amount of times. It's adding it repeated. And we get both those numbers by looking at the multiplication problem. Your answer is called a product. When you multiply two numbers together, or two factors, you get a product. The multiplication operation is denoted by the x or a small dot. Both of those will tell us multiplication. Looking at an example, let's think about having 6 boxes of 4 Cinnabons each. Rather than count out all the Cinnabons, we might think, well, I'm just going to add 4 together 6 times. 6 times 4 is going to give me 24. 24 Cinnabons. How do we write multiplication? We simply can use the x or the dot as noted before. Thinking about, I can also write it out completely as 6 times 4. And I can write 6 times 4 using the x, the dot, horizontally or vertically. Multiplication also allows us to write it in any order that we want. So let's think about our first little example, and let's imagine that we order a pizza. Now we know that a pizza has a certain amount of slices, usually has 8 slices. So let's think about if we order, let's say, 16 pizzas, and each pizza has 8 slices. How many slices are we going to have total? Are we going to have enough to feed everybody at the party, so to speak? So we'll start off by multiplying the numbers in the ones place. And 6 times 8 is going to give me 48. Well, from here, I'm going to take this 8 and drop it down into the ones place. And I'm going to take the 4 from the 48 and put it over here in the tens place. My next step is then to multiply the 8 by the 1 in the tens place, which is going to give me 8. And since I have that 4 hanging up at the top of the problem, I will simply add it to the 8, and it'll give me 12. So 12 essentially goes in the tens place to give me a 128. Taking a look at another example, I want to start thinking about maybe getting a paycheck and getting a certain amount of money per hour and working those hours and trying to find out how much money you're going to get. So example 2 has us thinking that we earn $14 an hour and we work for 28 hours. So how do we do this problem? Now we have two two-digit numbers. We'll start off the same way by multiplying the 4 and the 8, and we'll get 32. I'll drop the 2 into the first row of the ones place and put the 3 up there by the 1. 8 times 1 gives us an 8. And we add the 3 from the previous little multiplication, and that's going to end up giving me 11. Now I must multiply the 2 by both the 4 and the 1 above it. Because this 2 is a tens-digit number, however, it is important that we put a 0 in the ones place of the second row. And from there, I can multiply 2 times 4. That'll give me 8. I can drop that into the tens place. And then finally, a 2 times 1, which will give me 2. So in the second row, I get 280. My last step is to add together both these numbers. 2 and 0 is 2, 1 and 8 is 9, and 1 and 2 is 3. So our final answer here is 392. 14 times 28 is 392. We look at problems like this and we think, well, what are the connections? How can I know that multiplication is meaningful? Well, our paycheck is in dollars per hour, cars go in miles per hour, and of course, we think about pizzas and having a set amount of slices at the very end. And as a cornerstone of mathematics, it's very important to practice your multiplication and understand how it fits into these and many other examples.